how is AI actually changing the home service world? Probably not as much as you think it is, or maybe a little bit differently than you think it is if you listen to everybody else out there. What's up, blue collar business owner? Welcome back to the Blue Collar Prosperity Podcast. I'm your host, Paul Masker, where we focus on helping guide you to have a prosperous business. Today, we have back with us the first returning guest on the show. We're a year into this thing, Brigham Dickinson. He originally joined us last year to talk all about how do we turn our call center into a profit center and trading CSRs with power selling pros. He is back this year to discuss not only that, how the landscape has changed, why and how they're training technicians now, and where is AI actually taking us on this crazy journey. So that is Brigham Dickinson. Welcome back, Brigham. Thank you so much again for being here. What is happening today?
Hey, Paul. Thanks for having me back. I didn't realize I was the first one back.
You are the first return guest of the show. You should feel honored.
I feel that and much more. I don't even know what to say.
Awesome. Well, we are excited to have you here. For those listeners out there that didn't listen to your first interview, they're going to go back and listen to it after this, but give them the quick 30-second, 60-second rundown of what you do at Power Selling Pros, and then we'll jump into all the meat of this conversation.
Yeah. So we train your team to book calls on wow customers. We started about 16 years ago, according to LinkedIn. In fact, when I got the notice that I had this job, I guess you'd call it, for 16 years, and I got my congratulations coming in, I was like, wait, I've been doing this for 16 years? Are you kidding me? So that was kind of a surprise. But yeah, so 16 years we've been training CSRs, dispatchers, lead coordinators. We monitor their calls. We coach them one-on-one using their own phone calls. We take them through a certification process. It's 4 levels of certification. It takes about 1.5 years to complete. Most people stay on even after the 1.5 years. We have almost 1,300 trainees in our program. So to be exact, we have 1,297 trainees in this program, which is crazy. Let me tell you how crazy that is. It's crazy because this time last, in fact, I told Paul this beforehand. This time last year, we had about 900 trainees in our program, just over 900 trainees in our program. Today, we've got almost 1,200, almost 1,300. 1,300 trainees in our program. So it's pretty crazy what's happening these days at Power Selling Pros. But we focus in on your customer experience. We focus in on social skills, your ability to connect with a customer on an emotional level and help them feel really warm and fuzzy and happy about working with you. So that's what we do.
Love it. And yeah, we were talking a year ago, everybody said you'd be out of business because there aren't going to be any CSRs to train. It's going to be an AI agent answering the phone for every single home service company, and no one's going to need you. And obviously that hasn't come true, but you are leaning into AI to better serve your client. Not only leveraging AI to help the CSRs, but obviously leveraging AI now, even that we'll talk about a little bit today, as well as to also start improving the technicians' performance so they can wow their customers. So where have you been in the last year? How are we leveraging AI? Why are you still in business? You should be out of business because AI is answering all the phones. What's going on in your world?
Well, it's interesting because what it's done is kind of shine the light on the CSR's performance and why it needs to be improved, right? Why it needs to be elevated. And so I'll just tell you a quick experience. Lace reached out to us earlier this year because they've grown tremendously. And what they do is they will show you where your CSRs are performing, how they're performing, what they need to improve specifically. And that's what their AI does, right? It actually supports the human as opposed to replacing the human. And as their clients started saying, okay, cool, our CSRs are not performing the way that they should, we can see that. Do you have an answer for us, Lace? And Lace was like, no, we don't. And so that's when they reached out to us and said, hey, will you help us out with that? And so it's crazy how it's all came to be, because you're right. In the beginning, they were saying, hey, what are you going to do, Brigham? I mean, you're toast. And chances are you're not going to be around much longer. And the exact opposite has occurred because even though the AI is there, it's not good enough to replace humans that perform at a high level. So let me give you an example. I have a sister company called Booked by Power Selling Pros. And that is a night answering service. So we have dedicated CSRs that answer phones for contractors nationwide. We've got over 60 agents. These 60 agents book 93% of their phone calls. And about 4 months ago, we had 6 companies that left in the same month to have AI, a robot, answer their phones, all of which came back within the same month. And they said, it was a disaster. It was a disaster. And that's kind of what's happening in the industry right now. Every time AI is demonstrated at a live event, because this is what contractors have gotten really smart to this now, right? They're not going to just come to an event and listen to AI in a phone booth with a picture perfect call. They're now going to make those who are selling the AI demonstrate in front of a live audience that it does in fact work, while the contractors there asking questions, totally setting it up to fail. I've seen this happen 3 times now at a live event where somebody's trying to demonstrate the AI and how amazing it is, and they end up hanging up on the customer every time. It's a disaster right now, right? Those who are pioneering AI, it's just not where it needs to be. And so yeah, I mean, bottom line, how do you use it? How do you leverage it? Well, what you do is, let's say that everybody's on the phone. Okay. Because even our company, even Booked, uses AI when everybody's on the phone. It's the next best thing. It's better than making them wait. So you get their information, you book the call if you can. If not, you've got a human that's going to be on top of it. So that's usually where we fall short, is we don't have humans who are on top of it. We're using things like Chirp, or we're using things like Service Titan's second chance leads. They come in via email to the contractor, but the contractor doesn't have time to call those people back. And so that's where we fall short. We fall short inside that office. We need to make sure that our team is performing at a high level to take good advantage and to kind of work alongside the AI in order for the AI to be as successful as it possibly can be. So they need to be working in tandem, as opposed to AI replacing humans. That's not going to work. And there's a lot of reasons for that. I've already mentioned several. We can talk more about others later. But as far as right now, where it's at right now, where the technology is at right now, we need to make sure our humans, our employees, okay, our team is performing at an extremely high level. And then we have the AI monitor them, make sure that we keep tabs on them, and we're keeping the performance at where it needs to be. And then we have AI backup when they can't get on the phone. That's the world that we're living in right now.
Yeah, and I think that's how like anything gets started, right? First, everyone gets excited, first movers, I'll jump in. Oh, this is going to be the next best thing. This is going to take over the world. And then a lot of those things kind of go by the wayside. And Gary Vee's even talked about it. If anybody follows Gary Vee, I haven't followed him a long time, but he always talked about it like, hey, 99% of these companies are going to fail, but the couple percentage eventually, once the new movers are out of there, are going to figure it out, and it eventually will get there, but it's going to take a lot longer than most people think. So love the idea of using AI in tandem with humans. One, to have AI listen to the calls so the humans don't have to. So then AI can tell the coach, the trainer, whoever it is, hey, this is what's going on. Then the trainer can go train the CSR. Hey, let's work on this. That's making it way more efficient. And then when everybody is on the phone and the only other option is this person leaves a message or the phone keeps ringing and they hang up, we've got AI to back us up. It's still there. It's still supporting. And then we can continue to serve that customer. So you're doing that on the CSR side. I know you're also then getting into the technician side as well, because now there's all this great sales platform AI tools out there to, like a Rilla, to listen to the in-home service calls, sales calls, how they went. We can plug in our sales process, see how they followed it. But then I think like with a lot of data, like we collect it all, but then if we don't do anything with it, the data is worthless. So what are you guys starting to see and starting to do and starting to help these companies on a service tech side, sales tech, comfort advisor side?
So contractors are overwhelmed with data, right? Depending on the technology they're using, their field staff, their office staff, they're inundated with performance data, and they don't have the time or the wherewithal to comb through that data. Now, technology companies are getting to the point where using AI to kind of help assist with that, kind of sift through the data for them and find specific things. But even then, if you are one service manager and you have 50 techs, good freaking luck. Okay. You're not going to have time to do that. So for years, contractors have been talking to PowerSling pros about, hey, Brigham, you're doing so great teaching our CSRs these soft skills with the pattern for excellence. Will you do the same thing for our techs? And we've always been reluctant to do that because we cannot monitor performance. We can't hold them accountable to their performance like we do with CSRs, dispatchers, and lead coordinators. And so lucky for us, this technology has come out, and it's just been just a phenomenal opportunity to now begin to monitor technicians, monitor comfort advisors, and then hold them accountable to their performance as well. So it's pretty exciting. Now, here's the interesting thing. We're probably the only training company that has a team of call monitors. Why do we have a team of call monitors? Because that's what we did before AI came out for CSRs, dispatchers, and lead coordinators. We had live humans listening to calls, saving certain calls for coaching purposes. So now what happens to their job, now that we have AI that's following, basically finding these things out, making it easier for the coaches. I mean, the coaches can just type in specific keywords. Hey, are they being positive over the phone? Are they listening? Are they caring? Are they reassuring? And they can pull up specific parts of the call right then and there during the coaching session. So what happens with these call monitors? Well, crazy thing, their job changes, right? We have the ability with a very short learning curve to show them the new technology, whether it's Rilla, whether it's Salesforce, or what have you. And now they're uncovering specific things that a technician or a comfort advisor needs to improve, whether it's positive attitude, whether it's empathy, whether it's asking the right questions or creating value or being grateful, whether it's asking for the sale, whether it's overcoming objections. All those things we can uncover very quickly with our team of call monitors. So imagine a sales manager who is backed up by an army of people uncovering specific things for his 50 techs, right? And even if it's not 50 techs, let's say it's 10 techs, still a ton of data. Let's say it's 5 techs, a ton of data for one person to comb through, even if they've got AI to help them. So it's cool because it's been incredibly serendipitous for us to have all this AI come into the industry and give us an incredible amount of opportunity to serve contractors in the industry, because it's what we've been doing all along. We've been doing it all along with CSRs, and now we have the opportunity to do it with techs and comfort advisors.
Amazing. And when you mentioned, like, say they only have 5 techs, there's at most they're going to do one ride along a month with that technician, and that technician's not going to act like they normally would act when their service manager or general manager or whoever it is riding along with them. And that's like, one call out of 50 that they ran for the month that they actually got to see, versus now we have technology that can track all the calls, and then you have coaches in place, call monitors in place to then actually go implement it. So
okay, can I jump in on that real quick, Paul?
Of course.
So we'll do 6 ride-alongs, virtual ride-alongs a month, or 12 virtual ride-alongs a month per technician or comfort advisor. It depends on how much assistance the service manager would like. So imagine that for a moment. It's going to be hard for them to do one by themselves. We're going to do 6. With our team, we're going to be able to provide feedback 6 times a month or 12 times a month, depending on your need per technician.
Yeah. And what I see as well is just like when they're using, call it the Rilla, the Salesforce, or whatever they're using, they act more like themselves because they don't have somebody else with them following them, watching every step of the way. So it is also better data too, if you want to call it that. So as you guys have been doing this, I'm curious on where do you see the biggest fall offs or biggest, opportunities to improve from a technician standpoint? I know we talked a lot about CSRs in the last episode. So from a technician standpoint, for our listeners out there who have technicians, where do you see the biggest opportunities for improvement from a technician's performance when going through their sales process?
So the nuance of this AI and the constant change is affecting the performance of technicians as well as comfort advisors. Okay, there's all kinds of cool stuff coming out with not just with AI, Paul, but also things that'll make the sales process easier. Things like Mantle. I don't know if you've ever seen Mantle, but it's a really cool sales presentation that you can put it into your Service Titan platform, and Comfort Advisors could use it to provide several options to the customer and make it easy for the customer to make the choice for themselves. And it's an easier sell after you get used to it, after you're comfortable with it. Okay, imagine this. I just came back from a company who has they've had 3 different sales systems in 3 months. How do you think that's going to go over?
Not very well.
Okay. Let me give you another example. An incredibly successful, cause-driven organization. I don't know if you're familiar with them. It's Woodfin in Richmond, Virginia. They've got over 100 techs. They've got 7 sales coordinators. They've got over 20 people answering the phones. Paul, there isn't a more committed team than this team in the industry. Okay, it's incredible. I mean, they're right up there with, I would say the only one that resembles them is Simpson Salute in Ohio. Chad Simpson and his team. Okay, so there are those companies that are building and growing to make sure that they get a really high multiple and sell for a bunch of money to a PE group. Okay, that model, I respect it. I understand. It's America. You have every right to go after that model. And that's what's been going on for the last 5-10 years, right? Hot and heavy. But then there are the let's call them the diamonds, okay? The ones that don't, the money's a byproduct. Okay, what they're doing inside their community, the difference that they're making in people's lives, when they are drinking the Kool-Aid, okay, that's Woodfin. That's Woodfin. Okay, and it's very Chick-fil-A-esque in there. The moment I went in there, I kid you not, within an hour, I wanted to move my entire family, move over there, ship everything over to Richmond and work for that company. That's the type of cause-driven company that I'm talking about. Okay. So I go into this company and they've had some changes. They've had some growing pains, right? And I was on day one, I was working with the CSRs, coaching the CSRs, awesome team of CSRs, totally committed, family oriented. It's amazing how family oriented this massive team is. It's incredible what they've done. On day 2, I worked with the sales coordinators. There were 7 of them. They used to have 14. But because they wanted their team to perform at a higher level, what they did is they took their top tier comfort advisors and kept them and let go of everybody else. Okay, they are going through some. Have you ever heard of EOS?
Yeah.
Okay, they're going through some incredible changes, right? And it takes guts. When I was talking to Chip, he's like, dude, one of the most painful things I had to do was to keep my high performing sales coordinators and tell them to take on the load and let go of friends, family members, right? So they're making good, yet painful changes inside the organization. So funny thing, on the night of day 1, I'm preparing this sales process 1 sheet, following the pattern for excellence, not knowing all the details about all their changes going on, right? And all good changes because they want to continue to grow, right? They're growing like crazy. They want to continue to grow. The next morning, I wake up after working really hard on this thing, on this sales process 1 sheet, right? Following the pattern. And I get this impression. And the impression was teach leadership in sales. And I was like, huh? And then the same impression came to me. I was like, okay, I guess that's what I'm doing. So I am there in the morning with Chip, who runs the sales team, the sales department. He's a beast. I mean, he is the coolest guy you'll ever meet. And I said, look, Chip, I I need to I need to pivot. I need to pivot and I want to do some sales leadership. What do you think? And he loved it. He's like, dude, this is exactly what they need. And I was like, okay, cool. So we went with it. And sure enough, they loved it. They loved it. And as soon as we were done, they said, this is what we needed. Now, what did I talk about? Instead of giving them one more thing they needed to do differently, I helped them pivot their focus onto their own performance and where they're at. Sometimes we get really focused on the things that we're concerned about, right? Stephen R. Covey talks about this: circle of concern versus circle of influence. Okay, he's been talking about this for years. Well, because of all the changes going on inside their organization, they were so focused on, naturally, they were focused on things they were concerned about, but they couldn't really control. That's not going to help your sales. Okay, so I talk about leadership in sales. I talk about their performance and about the way they're looking at it. And so my objective that morning with the hour that I had with them was to change the way they're looking at all these changes, all the nuances going on, and approach it the right way with focus on the things that only they can control. And they come out of that meeting on fire. On fire. So what's my point? My point here is the way that we've always approached this, it's not necessarily about the sales system. Okay, it's about people and their ability to influence other people inside their circle of influence, right? So it was amazing. It was amazing. Now look, it comes down to getting people feeling comfortable, feeling safe, and having a little bit of fun. Okay. In fact, I asked technicians about this when we're working with them. I say, guys, how do you get kissed on a date? We may have mentioned this on the first podcast. This is why you got to listen to the first podcast, you guys. How do you get kissed on a date? You wouldn't ask CSRs this question, right? Because it just wouldn't go over very well. But with a group of technicians early in the morning, right? Even if they're married, you and I know that they haven't been kissed in weeks, right? This is a good question for them, okay? Because they're going to pay attention to this question. So very simply, in order to get kissed on a date, you've got to create an environment of safety, okay, where they feel safe. Because guess what? If they don't feel safe, you're not getting kissed. If they don't feel comfortable, guess what? You're not getting kissed. If they're not having just a little bit of fun, guess what? You're not getting kissed. Okay, you've got to have those three things. Now, this is usually where a smart alecky comfort advisor or technician raises their hand and says, wait a minute, you want us to kiss our customers? No, I don't want you to kiss your customers, but I do want you to create an environment of safety, comfort, and fun. Okay, that requires people skills. Okay, that's where we start talking about the pattern for excellence. This is why contractors reach out to us and say, hey, look, you're doing such a great job teaching our CSRs to connect on an emotional level with customers. Will you do the same for our technicians? Because guess what? They've got a sales system. They've got it. They just don't use it. Okay, so what is that? Well, it's not the sales system. It's the person. It's what's going on inside their head. And you've got to unlock that, right? You've got to help them push through those barriers. The reason why people are not successful are because of their individual blocks. Okay. So my goal is to get them through those blocks by helping them see where the blocks are and to push through them. And we use that with the pattern for excellence, and we use that in our training. It's all about soft skills. Everybody's got a sales system, and nobody's able to connect with the customer the way that they should until they get through those mental blocks.
That was awesome. Didn't know where you're going to go with that in a minute, but you got to the answer in a very powerful way, I must say. And it is so true because, right, they say it all the time. People buy from people they know, like, and trust. You're creating safety, you're creating comfort, and having a little bit of fun. That's who people want to do business with. And the sales process is irrelevant if you're not in the right mindset, or you don't have the soft skills, or you don't want to create you can follow a process to the T and go 0 for 100 if you don't have those skills, or you're not building that safety and comfort and fun. And I've always said it's just one big conversation. And if you're genuinely there to help people, you're going to build a good relationship. How do we help people? We ask them questions, right? We ask them questions of, how did this happen? How long has it been going on? How long have you lived here? Oh, do you have kids? Like that's that. Going back to your question of how do we get kissed on the date or on the first date? We're genuinely curious in the other person that we are there with. In this case, it's the homeowner. And when you can do that, it makes it a lot easier to then tell them, hey, you need to do this. And this is the solution to solve the problem that you called us for an hour ago. So safety,
right.
comfort, fun, love it. Because I agree with you 100%. All the sales processes are 99% the same, right? They're going to tell you to do this. They're going to tell you to park here. They're going to tell you to put the mat down. They're going to tell you to wear the shoe covers. They're going to tell you to shake the hand or not shake the hand and give them a business card. Don't give them a business card. But at the end of the day, none of that matters if you're not a human interacting with another human with good skills to create that environment of trust. So,
Yes.
great answer, great story, because things are always changing, right? And when, like the example you used, when in this day and age, home services are changing, the world is changing, business is changing. And when we can connect with our people and figure out what's really going on, and then how do we get them to perform at their highest level, the sales process takes care of itself. So I know there's people out there. We talked about this a little bit in the first episode, but not as much because AI wasn't as relevant. It is relevant now. The data is only good if we do something with it. But there are people listening to this that are using AI more and more to say, answer the phones. And I know we talked, like I said, we talked about this a little bit, but as we go into that realm, how can we empower or repurpose our CSRs to actually be more valuable to the organization instead of, because I know where a lot of people think of when they hear AI is going to answer the phone, they're like, I don't want to have to let go of my 20 CSRs. We're not going to have to do that. You've proven that. You went from 900 to 1,297 trainees in the last year. But as we kind of make that shift, where do you see successful home service companies repurposing these CSRs or leveling them up to still be a valuable part of the organization?
I appreciate you asking that. First of all, a business owner needs to decide what kind of model of growth he wants to go into. Okay. There is the McDonald's model. The McDonald's model you go into McDonald's now and you see that there's two big screens and you can order what you want on that screen. Okay. They've completely automated it and they have less people. They just have people who are collecting the money and making the food, but they barely interact with you, right? You might even get a smile. You'd be surprised if you get eye contact. Okay. But guess what? The model works. They have proven that they're actually able to get a higher ticket volume per order because the screen is able to get them to get other things or to buy extra stuff without having to interact with a human, right? The model works. It's great for them. But then there's another model, and that's the Chick-fil-A model. Now, the cool thing about the Chick-fil-A model, the only thing that keeps people from going to Chick-fil-A is the line.
So true.
Yeah. And so what is Chick-fil-A doing? They're doubling their sales force at the line to create a better experience at the line. Funny how Disney did the same thing, right? Most theme parks have big old long lines, but there's nothing to look at, right? You have chain link fences, herding you through to get to the roller coaster, right? You could be this amazing roller coaster. It doesn't matter because you have to be in that line for 2 hours to get to that amazing roller coaster. But the way Disney did it is they've created all these really cool things to look at as you're going through the line. Now, it still sucks to wait. Nobody likes to wait, but the wait is easier and the experience is better because of all the stuff that you're looking at during the wait. I don't know if you've ever been on Avatar at Disney World, but man, that is the most incredible waiting line on the planet because of everything that you're looking at, right? And so what Disney has done is they've focused in on improving the line. Well, okay, if we can't avoid the line, let's at least make the line a little bit better of an experience. Chick-fil-A has done the same thing. And their price reflects it, right? Their price reflects the humans that are there ushering the cars and the people through the line. And they create this amazing experience. I'll just tell you one example. I drive up to Chick-fil-A once, and I wondered if they really freshly squeezed their lemonade every day for everyone, right? I mean, really, right? It's not concentrate. Are you sure? Right? You know what I mean? So I get up to the window in there and I said, do you really freshly squeeze all this lemonade? And she said, oh yeah. Would you like to try some? As if I've never tried. And of course I acted like a ding dong. I was like, oh, I wonder how it tastes, right? I'll try it. Because I like the word free. Free's my favorite price. And she had me try it. And crazy thing, I bought an extra large lemonade. It's amazing how reciprocity works. But it's that human touch. Okay. It's that human touch. That model works. Here's my point. The first point that I want to make here. You need to decide whether you're going to jump into endless sameness, and you'll have to lower your price because you're the same. If I call the guy next door and I get the same experience, why should I pay more for you? Okay. That's what the consumer is going to think. You jump into that pool and let robots take over, sooner or later, it's going to work. But when it starts working, I promise you, you're jumping into a pool of sameness, endless amounts of sameness. The way you differentiate yourself is not by adding an extra this or an extra that. It's you, it's your people that are bought into the system, that are drinking the Kool-Aid, like at Woodfin, like at Simpson Salute. Okay, that's why I bring these guys up. A cause-driven business run by humans that are married to that cause. So that's number one. So those are the ones that I'm advocating for, right? Those are the ones that we work with. Those are the ones that we want to work with. You want to use the robots, use the robots. So now that we are on the same page here, right? The ones left listening to this podcast now are the ones that, yes, I want the Chick-fil-A model. Okay, cool. So you guys, let's talk. You've got a group of people inside your office. Their job is changing because now there are robots that are answering the phone, whether they're on the phone or what have you, and the AI needs to pick it up. Regardless of the situation, AI at some point is going to be involved, okay? Now, when a customer gets on the phone and they want a ballpark price, they want to know what you charge to come out, they want to talk to a technician, you set up your AI to immediately say, cool. Well, not cool, but yes, we can help you with that. Let me get you in touch with a live agent, and then let the live agent handle that. AI is not there yet, okay? They're not going to be able to handle that call. Let the human, a trained human, okay, a human that is monitored. One of your employees, I hate saying human, by the way. See what robots have done to us? Okay? Your people, your employees, your valued partners, you give them the ability to take on those calls and book those calls, okay? When they get on the phone with the customer says, hey, I'm looking for a ballpark price. Great. Can you tell me more about your situation? What's going on? Well, I've got this air conditioner. It's blowing hot air. My gosh, that's terrible. How long has it been doing that? Oh, last couple of days. So wait a minute. You've been in this heat for the last couple of days? Yeah, it's been pretty brutal. Well, look, we can totally help you with that. You've called the right place. When would you like us out? Well, this afternoon will be good. Okay, trained humans. Let's say, oh, really, I just want a ballpark price. It's a great question. Here's what we do. What we do is we send out the comfort advisor. He comes out. He takes a look at the situation. He does a heat load calculation. He makes sure it's running at peak efficiency. And what he'll do is he'll give you that price that you're looking for while he's there in the home taking care of you. When would you like him out? Okay. We want a trained partner employee doing this. Let's say they push back and they go, yeah, you can't just give me an idea as to what it's going to cost. And just maybe a ballpark. Mr. Jones, I can respect what you're looking to get done, right? You don't want to waste anybody's time, especially your own. I don't want to waste your time either. If I were to give you a price right now and we come out, we do a heat load calculation and we end up giving you a completely different price, are you going to be okay with that? Well, no, of course I'm not going to be okay with that. Of course not. This is why we want to come out. We want to come out, do a heat load calculation. Okay, system is only as good as the way it's installed. We are better than everybody else. Let us have the opportunity to come out. It won't cost you a thing. Let us come out and take a look at the situation, do that HECO calculation, give you an accurate price. When would you like us out?
There you go.
Okay. This is what a trained human should do. And this is why AI is not there yet. And they won't be there for years. Okay. So what do you do with the humans? You continue to train them. All right. So let's say that a call comes in and they are not a member. Okay, so the very first, like a club member or a service agreement member, we simply say, hey, Mr. Jones, I'm looking at your notes. This is after the appointment's booked. Mr. Jones, I'm looking at your notes. I noticed that we've worked with you a few times over the years. Yeah, I've been working with you guys for over 10 years now. Love that. Appreciate your loyalty. Really grateful. And as I look at your notes, I notice that you don't have that membership. You know what it does? No, I don't know what it does. Well, it prevents things like this, the thing that you're dealing with right now, from happening. We come out in the spring, we come out in the fall, make sure your system's running at peak efficiency. The best part about it is it prevents things like this, the thing that you're dealing with right now, from happening. If you want, I can get you going on it right now. It's $20 a month. All right. Now, the really cool thing about this, Paul, let's say that a customer gets on the phone, they say, hey, I just want to know what you charge to come out. Now, if it's a live agent, I'm going to show you how to handle it just in a minute. If it's AI, you have the AI say, great, let me put you in touch with a live agent. Don't even let the AI mess with those kinds of calls. Okay. So it gets to a live agent. Hey, I just want to know what you guys charge to come out. It's a great question. Can you tell me more about your situation? Because it really depends. And side note, Paul, it does depend. Because if they want to replace it, it's free. For us to come out, it's free. If they want to fix it, there might be a dispatch charge there, right? So either way, you need more information. Truthfully, it's not a put off. I need more information. Okay. Well, I've got this air conditioner. It's blowing hot air. Hey, we've heard this before, Paul. Tell me more about it. How long has it been doing that? Oh, last couple of days. Well, I can totally help you with that. When would you like us to come out? Oh, this afternoon would be good. Or they push back. They say, do you guys not have a charge? It's a great question. Here's what we do. What we do is we send out that tech. He comes out. He takes a look at the situation. He determines exactly what you need fixed, and he gives you a price before he starts. Now, there is a fee of X, or there is a diagnostic of X for them to come out and do that. When would you like us to come out? So I give them their answer, and then I ask a question of my own. When would you like us to come out? Now, let's say, Paul, that they decide they don't want that, right? They don't want to pay that. Let's say that the dispatch was $1. I don't want to pay that. That's ridiculous, right? Too expensive. Okay, cool. Is it just the fee that you're concerned about? Yeah, I don't want to pay it. So if it weren't for the fee, would you move forward with the appointment? Yeah. Okay. Well, there's one thing we can do. We've got a service agreement. It's awesome. Sound familiar? We come out in the spring, we come out in the fall, we make sure it's running at peak efficiency. The best part about it is it prevents things like this, the thing you're dealing with right now, from happening. Now, if you wanted, I can get you on the club membership as opposed to having you pay the dispatch fee. If I do that, is that enough for you to move forward with the appointment today? Well, how much is it? It's $20 a month. I can get you going on it right now. Now, let's say that we have humans that are crushing it like that inside your office. And I know if you're not working with us, they're probably not. Okay. So the first thing we need to do is get them there. Okay. That's number one. Number two, if they can do that on the inbound calls, why can't they do that on the outbound calls? And you guys, this is how they keep their job. Okay. They become inside sales reps, not just CSRs. And this is the long answer to Paul's short question. Okay. Very simple. If calls are coming in hot and heavy, you're 90% booked tomorrow, 80% booked the next day, and 70% booked the following day. No outbound calling for you. Okay. Just take those inbound calls, book them, and close service agreements all day long. If no calls are coming in, you're 50% booked tomorrow, you're 40% booked the next day, and 3% the following day. Guess what? You need to be calling out. And if you've trained your CSRs, your dispatchers, lead coordinators, to sell service agreements on the inbound calls, it's going to be very easy for them to call out. Say, hey, Mr. Jones, I'm looking at your notes. I noticed that you don't have a club membership with us. Now, how does it start? It's a happy call, right? It's a happy call. Mr. Jones, how's it going? This is Brigham with Totally Awesome Heating and Cooling. We worked on your system 6 months ago. Wondering how things are going. Is it still running the way that it should? Oh, yeah, it's great. It's wonderful. It's amazing. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I appreciate you letting us know. I noticed you don't have a club membership with us. I'm wondering why not. Well, what is it? Well, we come out in the spring, we come out in the fall. Sound familiar, Paul? We come out in the spring, we come out in the fall, make sure it's running at peak efficiency. The best part about it is it prevents things like this. The thing you dealt with 6 months ago. from happening. If you wanted, I can get you going on right now. It's $20 a month. Now, let's say that you get 30 calls that come in a day. Here's the kicker. Okay. You get 30 calls that come in a day, and you ask that question on every call. Okay. Whether it's inbound call or an outbound call. And you agree beforehand to your CSRs that you'll pay them, let's say it's $15 a service agreement that they sell. Okay. So out of 30, let's say that 20 out of the 30 say, I'm good, no thanks. What does that mean? What that means is you've got 10 people a day that say, what is it? What is it? Now let's say that 2 out of the 10 decide to move forward. That CSR should just made an extra $30 a day. Okay, what is that a week? It's $150. What is that a year? It's $7,500. What does that do for the CSR? That makes them part of your sales team, because now they have control over their own income and they can make as much money as they want to make sitting in that seat. And this is how you keep your staff inside the office. You keep that staff because you're giving them a way to make as much money as they want to make sitting in that seat, whether you're using AI or not. Okay, now let's say that calls aren't coming in. Okay, we do the happy calls. And we keep selling those club memberships, and we still can affect our own income, whether calls are coming in or not. And we keep crews busy, and we keep everybody happy. Everybody wins.
There you go. Long answer to a short question, but there is unlimited opportunities within your business that you're probably not tapping into, regardless of AI, regardless of how you're operating. And it all comes back to training and leadership and really getting everybody, rowing in the same direction. So,
hey, Paul, I'm glad you forgive me for interrupting. You said leadership there. You have an incubator of leadership inside your call center. As long as you've got eyes to see it, you have a group of individuals that could be great leaders inside your organization. The way that you help those leaders rise to the top is you challenge them the way I'm describing. And the ones who take this on are the ones that can lead your team and your company tomorrow. Okay. There is a CSR, a person that started out as a CSR and then became a CSR manager inside the organization. They left that organization, started looking for a job. They found Power Selling Pros. That person today is running my company. Okay. Lindsay Wood, she's incredible. Okay. Don't anybody try and steal her. Okay. She's incredible. But I'll give you another example. Tasha is over our sales, our entire sales team, and they're crushing it right now. I've never had a more powerful, more successful sales team. We're really proud of what she's been able to do inside our sales department. She applied to Power Selling Pros twice. Why she had to apply twice, I have no idea, Tasha. I had nothing to do with that. We hired her the second time around, luckily. And she was a phenomenal coach and moved herself up the ranks very, very quickly. But all we need to do, number one, as business owners, is have eyes to see what really is inside our call center, and then give them training and incentives to make as much money as they want to make inside that call center. The leaders will rise to the top, and those leaders can jump in and take vital roles inside your organization as it grows. So just keep that in mind.
Love it. So as we wrap this up, Brigham, we've talked about a lot of things. We'll definitely have you come back in 2026 to see what the landscape is then. Maybe you'll be the first 3-time guest on the show.
Yes.
But as we wrap this up, what is one thing, we ask this to everybody, what's one thing the listeners out there could take action within the next 24 hours to move their business just 1% forward? What's one thing they could do?
I'm going to give you 2 things.
Perfect. Fire away.
Number one, a customer needs to feel understood, cared about, and reassured before they're willing to give you anything, their address, where they're located. Okay. Whether they need to feel understood first, understood, cared about, reassured. If you can do that first, everything's going to be a whole lot easier to book that call and well that customer. So make sure that you show them that you understand, that you care, and reassure them they've called the right place, just like I've demonstrated over and over and over again. You do that, you're definitely going to increase your call conversion. The industry average is around 40% calls versus set appointments. That'll put you in the 70 percentile. Okay. That's number one. Number two, I definitely want you to teach your team to do outbounding, and they need to be cool with it. They need to be comfortable with it. And the way that you do that is through the little gateway drug, right? That club membership. Sell the club membership on inbound calls. It'll be easier for them to do it on the outbound calls. But here's what you need to do. The best type of comfort advisor lead is a tech set lead. Okay. When technicians book appointments for comfort advisors, those are the ones that the comfort advisors want to go on the most. You know it and I know it. Well, why wouldn't we have CSRs do the same thing over the phone? Mr. Jones, I'm looking at your notes. I noticed that there's a system that we've been working on for over 12 years now. You've gotten some great life out of it. Have you ever considered replacing it? If you wanted, we can get you approved for financing right now. Technicians do this all the time. Why don't we have CSRs that do it? And if they do it and they do it over the phone and they get financing taken care of, would you not compensate them for that? These are the types of opportunities that we need to be giving our CSRs. If we do this, it's going to make a world of difference for them. And in the end, the technician's going to appreciate them and appreciate the fact that they're doing that, because the technician will have more work to do with more service agreements. They'll stay busy year round with all those service agreements. So here's what I'm going to do, Paul. I'm going to give them access, every listener to a happy call script with your permission.
Of course.
That way, I won't just tell them what to do, but I can give them the tools to do what I'm suggesting, right?
Yep.
So there's a number for them to text. Bear with me as I pull it up here because I'm doing this on the fly. So text happy, the word happy, to 385-247-3714. So once again, 385-247-3714. Just type in the word happy and we'll get you that script, that happy call script. If you're ready to learn more about Power Selling Pros, just go to our website, Power, Power, Selling, Selling, Pros, Pros.com. And there's a link to get a demo. Just click on the demo link and schedule a time for us to connect with you and see if we can't custom build a plan for your techs, comfort advisors, CSRs, and dispatchers. We're happy to help them with their soft skills. In addition to that, Paul, what do you think? What else? Is there anything else you wanted me to cover?
No, that was phenomenal. Love it. We definitely went over time, but it was well worth it. So in case you guys didn't write it down or didn't hear it, text happy to 385-247-3714 to get that script so you can do your happy calls, follow-ups, and turn your CSRs into inside sales reps. Brigham Dickinson, thanks again for coming on the show, sharing your journey, and providing a ton of actual advice for all the blue-collar business owners out there as we continue our journey to prosperity. Appreciate you as always, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And before we go, as you know, there are a lot of moving parts when it comes to creating consistent, positive cash flow. However, the journey starts with making sure you are priced right so you can have a growing and more profitable business. I've created a super easy to use pricing calculator for everyone in the trades. You will no longer have to guess what you should charge. You'll no longer have to call around your competition and see what they charge. This calculator is easy to use and will provide you confidence and clarity that you're actually priced right. It also comes with a step-by-step PDF guide and a video walkthrough. So head on over to thebluecollaradvisors.com/price. thebluecollaradvisors.com/price to download it today and so you can start implementing it tomorrow. Until next time, remember, what got you here won't get you there. If you are ready for different results, it's time to start doing things differently.